Let me ask you something, sweetheart. And I need you to be honest with me, because I am going to be very honest with you. When was the last time you sat down? Not on your phone, not half distracted watching something, and actually counted every single subscription you are paying for right now. Every single one. Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Apple One, Duolingo Plus, LinkedIn Premium. That meditation app you downloaded in January when you made that promise to yourself. The cloud storage you're paying for because your phone keeps telling you it's full. The gym app, the other gym app, the news website, the recipe website, the software you used twice in 2022. I'll wait. You can't name them all. I already know. And neither can the companies that designed them that way. Here's what the data says, love. The average American household is spending, are you ready? Between $2.19 and $8.44 every single month on subscription services. Every month. And when researchers ask people to estimate what they spend, most people guess around $80. That's not a rounding error, honey. That's not a mistake. That is a system working exactly as designed. A system that was engineered deliberately with billions of dollars in research to be invisible to you while it empties your account on autopilot. You are not bad with money. You are not lazy. You are not irresponsible. You are the target of one of the most sophisticated wealth extraction machines ever built in human history. And it has your credit card number, your phone number, your email address, and your permission. I have the receipts. Now, before we go any further, I need you to make a decision. If you came here for someone to tell you, it's okay, treat yourself, you deserve nice things, baby, this is not that channel. There are plenty of people online who will smile at you and tell you that your financial wounds are self-care. You go find them. I'll wait. But if you are tired, if you are genuinely exhausted from working hard and still feeling like the money disappears, if you have looked at your bank account and felt that particular kind of shame that doesn't have a name but lives right in the middle of your chest, then you stay. You stay. And you listen to what I'm about to tell you, because what I'm about to show you is not motivational. It is not inspirational. It is mathematical. And mathematics does not care about your feelings. The truth is uncomfortable. Good. Stay uncomfortable. Uncomfortable people change their lives. Let me explain to you what a subscription is, in honest language, not marketing language. Honest language. A subscription is a company's solution to an unpredictable revenue problem. In the old world, you bought a product once. The company got paid once. Then they had to convince you to come back. That was expensive. That was uncertain. Stockholders didn't like uncertain. So someone very smart and very well compensated had an idea. What if instead of selling people a product, you sold them a habit? What if you could get customers to give you automatic access to their bank account every single month, forever, without ever having to sell to them again? That, my dear, is the subscription economy. And it is worth, at current valuation, over $600 billion a year. Every single dollar of that $600 billion came from somewhere. It came from you. It came from your coworkers. It came from your mama. It came from people who are tired and busy and who did not have time to review a charge on their statement from a company whose name they half remember. These companies invest heavily in what Silicon Valley calls friction reduction. Let me translate that into English for you. They make it very, very easy to sign up. They make it very, very hard to cancel. They bury the cancel button. They make you call a phone number during business hours. They offer you a pause instead of a cancellation. They hit you with a discount right when you're about to leave. They send you a "we miss you" email with a free month right after you finally cancel, hoping to hook you again. This is not accidental. This is not a coincidence. This is a $40 billion user experience research industry entirely dedicated to keeping your automatic payment going one more month. And then one more. And then one more. And the most brilliant part, they made you feel like these services are essential, like life without them is deprivation. They made the $15.99 feel small. Because what is $15.99? That's nothing. That's a lunch. That's a coffee and a snack. That's insignificant. And that right there is the trick. The trick is to make every individual charge feel too small to be worth your attention, while the total is large enough to genuinely change your financial life if you recaptured it. All right. You wanted receipts? Here are your receipts, love. Pull up a chair. Let's say you are spending $400 a month on subscriptions. That sounds conservative. That might even sound low if you really sit down and count. But let's be generous and say $400. $400 a month is $4,800 a year. Over 5 years, that is $24,000. $24,000. That is a used car, paid in full. That is a down payment on a home in most markets outside of California and New York. That is a year of community college tuition. That is the kind of money that changes the shape of a life. Gone. Automatically deducted, often for services you barely use. But I don't want to talk to you about dollars, honey. I want to talk to you about something more valuable than dollars. I want to talk to you about time. Because every dollar you earn represents a piece of your life that you traded for it. And when you understand that, the numbers stop looking like numbers and start looking like what they actually are, which is time. Your time, your one and only life. Let's do the math. Let's say you earn 25s an hour. That is a reasonable wage. A little above median, but reasonable. That $400 a month in subscriptions? That is 16 hours of your labor. Every month. Gone. In a year, that is 192 hours. That is 8 full days of your life. Not working days. Full 24-hour days. That you worked and then handed directly to Netflix and Spotify and a meal planning app you have opened 4 times. Over a decade, that is 80 days of your life. More than 2.5 months of your existence, awake, alive, trading your hours for money. Handed over to subscription companies on autopilot. Now let's say you earn $18 an hour. Because many people do. Many hardworking, intelligent, exhausted people do. At $18 an hour, that $400 a month is 22 hours of labor. Nearly 3 full working days, every single month, just to pay for subscriptions, most of which you use occasionally, some of which you have forgotten entirely. And let me take it further, because I believe in thorough work. Let's talk about the money you are not building because of these charges. If instead of spending that $400 a month on subscriptions, you invested it in an index fund. Nothing exotic, nothing complicated, just a boring index fund. At a historical average return of 7% per year after inflation for 30 years. That $400 a month becomes $452,000. $452,000. Sitting there, working for you, generating income while you sleep. That is the retirement that most Americans say they cannot afford. That is the emergency fund that would mean a car repair doesn't destroy your month. That is the inheritance you could leave your children. That is the freedom to quit a job that is hurting you. And it is being taken from you, automatically, with your permission, every single month, in amounts small enough that your brain does not register them as significant. Let me show you the typical subscription stack that most households are carrying, because I want you to see the full picture. Netflix, $15.49s. Disney Plus, $13.99. Hulu, $17.99. Spotify or Apple Music, $10.99. Amazon Prime, $14.99 per month. Apple iCloud or Google One Storage, $9.99. A gym or fitness app, $14.99. A news subscription, $9.99. A food delivery membership, DoorDash, Instacart, or similar, $9.99. A productivity or software tool, $12.99. A gaming subscription, $14.99. A beauty, clothing, or lifestyle box, €45. A language learning app, $6.99. A password manager, $3.99. A VPN, $4.99. That is 14 services. That is a modest list. That does not include the subscriptions your partner has. That does not include the free trials you forgot to cancel. That does not include the annual subscriptions that hit your account once a year and feel like a surprise attack. That list, $207 per month, per person, before the annual ones, before the extras. And I want you to think about how many of those services overlap. How many of them offer you access to the same movie that you can watch on exactly one screen at a time? You are paying for 4 libraries of content. You are watching one show. You have been watching the same show for 3 weeks. Now here is where I need you to pay very close attention, because this is where it gets truly sophisticated. The subscription industry does not just sell you services. It sells you an identity. It sells you a version of yourself that you want to believe in. The Duolingo subscription? That's not a language app. That is proof that you are the kind of person who is cultured and worldly and always improving. The Masterclass subscription? You are not buying cooking lessons from Gordon Ramsay. You are buying a story about yourself as someone who invests in their personal development. The meditation app? You are not buying guided breathing exercises. You are buying the idea that you are someone who prioritizes their mental health and inner peace. They know. Oh, they know. The marketing teams at these companies have studied human psychology in extraordinary depth. They know that people don't buy products. People buy better versions of themselves. And they have priced that desire at $9.99 a month, renewable automatically, cancelable at any time, though the button is very hard to find. And the cruelest version of this trick, the one that made me sit down when I first understood it, is what they do with the concept of self-care. Self-care used to mean sleep. It used to mean community. It used to mean cooking real food and spending time outside and talking to people you love. It was free. It was ancient. It was human. Then someone realized there was no money in free. So they repackaged rest as a product. They put it in an app. They gave it a monthly subscription. They told you that you deserve it. They told you that spending money on yourself is a form of self-respect. And now self-care has a $4,200 annual budget. And the people selling it to you are laughing all the way to their investment portfolios. The ones they built by not spending $4,200 a year on things that used to be free. All right, enough truth-telling. Let's talk about what you are actually going to do. And I mean actually, not think about it. Not maybe soon, this week. These 3 things. First, the audit. This weekend. Not next weekend, this one. You are going to go through every single bank statement and credit card statement from the last 3 months. Every line. You are going to make a list of every recurring charge, every subscription, every automatic payment. Write them down. What it is, how much, when it charges. You are going to be disturbed by what you find. That is the point. You cannot fight an enemy you refuse to look at. Then you are going to divide that list into 3 columns. The first column is services you use at least 3 times a week. The second column is services you use occasionally. The third column is services you have not used in the last 30 days or cannot remember the last time you used. Column 3 gets cancelled this weekend. Not paused. Cancelled. If they offer you a discount to stay, say thank you and cancel anyway. A discount on something you don't need is still a waste of money. Column 2 gets evaluated. Pick one, cancel the rest. Second, the physical barrier. I want you to remove your credit card from every subscription service that is not in column 1. Make them ask you for it again. Because I promise you, and I know this from experience, and I know this from research, if you have to get up, find your wallet, and manually enter your card number, You will not resubscribe to half of what you cancel. The convenience is the trap. The friction is the cure. Put the friction back. Third, the 72-hour rule. From this point forward, no new subscription without a 72-hour waiting period. You see something that looks interesting. You add it to a list. You wait 3 days. If you still want it after 3 days, if you can clearly articulate what problem it solves and how often you will use it, then you may subscribe. I promise you that 80% of the impulse subscriptions you would have bought will feel unnecessary. 72 hours later. That is not a theory. That is how impulsive spending works. The emotion fades. The charge does not. I want to leave you with something, honey. Something I need you to sit with. The system I described to you today. The invisible billing. The engineered forgetting. The weaponized convenience. It is not targeting you because you are weak. It is targeting you because you are busy. Because you are tired. Because you are doing what most people do, which is working very hard and trusting that your money is roughly where you think it is. They depend on your exhaustion. They depend on the fact that after a long day of work, you do not have the energy to audit a bank statement. They depend on the fact that the cancel button is hard to find at 11 p.m. when you are already in bed. They designed it that way. This is not a bug. This is the product. And so, I want to tell you something that might sound strange coming from a financial conversation. The most radical thing you can do for your money and for your life is to rest. To slow down enough to see clearly. To refuse to be so busy and so overwhelmed that your attention becomes a product that companies can harvest. Looking at your subscriptions is not a spreadsheet exercise. It is an act of self-determination. It is saying, I see the system. I understand how it works. And I am not going to participate in it blindly anymore. You are not behind, love. You are not broken. You are waking up. And waking up, in this economy, is an act of profound courage. Now, if this conversation cracked something open for you, if you heard something here that you needed to hear, then do one thing for me right now. Subscribe to this channel. I know, the irony. But this one is free. It will not charge your credit card. And I promise you, I will keep telling you the truth that everybody else is too polite or too sponsored to say. And leave me a comment. Tell me, what is the subscription you just remembered that you forgot you were paying for? I want to know. And I want you to know that you are not alone. This trap caught smart people. It caught careful people. It caught people who are very good at their jobs and their lives. It was built to catch them. Now you know how it works. Now you can walk out. I'll see you next time, love.